Hello. So today I'm really, really excited to have Dr. Niveen with me. She's a holistic chiropractor, which I feel like is very unique, and I'm really excited
Thank you.
to explore that more with you. And also to share a little bit more about how we connected and how we met.
Mm-hmm.
Today's topic is going to be around the womb, the wisdom of the womb as a portal of creation for women. And we mean creation in all ways, whether it's birthing new life, bringing a child into the world, bringing creative ideas. How do we reconnect to the center? As a coach myself, I've experienced quite a few issues with my womb.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I speak to clients who have had really wild experiences, whether it was abuse, whether it
Mm-hmm.
was different forms of disconnections, I would say,
Correct.
or
Yeah.
severances with that part of the body. So thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
for
for
having
being
me. I'm
here.
excited actually.
Yeah, me
Thank you.
too. And we met in a very fun way. I
Yes.
have two friends of mine that come to you and recommended you to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give a shout out to Haya Yasmin and Zain. And so, literally, after a pilgrimage that I did in south of France, the first thing I did when I came back to Dubai was to come and see you. And the first thing you told me is, wow, I love all of the blue.
Yes, that's all I saw. I saw you just walked in. You weren't really wearing all blue, but as soon as you walked into my office, I just saw your vibration, your aura was radiating this magnificent color of blue. And yeah, I was taken back and I didn't know where you came from.
True. You didn't know, and
I
you're
had
like,
no
oh,
idea.
and then I told you something along the lines of, yes, I just came back from a trip with my mother. We did a pilgrimage together in the south of France. And then you were like, oh, Mary Magdalene?
Exactly.
Literally. And I was, in my mind, I was like, how does she know that I went to do a Mary Magdalene pilgrimage? And you had just researched that morning the pilgrimage yourself because you wanted
Correct.
to do it.
Yeah, it was, I was at the gym and I was in a zone, and then I get this this link on YouTube, Mary Magdalene sacred pilgrimage. And then I just listened to this whole YouTube and I was like, okay, I just felt a calling, I felt a calling. I've been reading a lot about the lineage of Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Isis, and it's all connected to the womb. This is what their whole teachings are about. And I have studied about Mother Mary, as we have in the Abrahamic religions. She's very, very sacred, with sacred creation. And then Isis in ancient Egypt, which again is all about the womb and creation. And, Mary Magdalene, I learned a little bit about her, but not as much. So when I was listening to that YouTube, I just, for me, I follow my intuition. And especially if I get any bodily sensations, I know this is my sign that my soul is calling me to do something. And then I literally wrote about it. And I'm like, okay, this is something I want to do. And next time I'm in south of France, I need to do this pilgrimage because I really believe a lot of these places are sacred portals. That when you're on the land, even if you don't have any remembrance or understanding of ancient knowledge, just being on such sacred portals can really activate a lot of information, and it could initiate you into where you're letting go of what you need to let go at that moment, and then start a whole process of initiation of coming back to yourself as a woman.
In a deeper way, for sure. And when I did my first pilgrimage there, I just remember feeling like my whole life was about to change. I just knew it.
Okay.
And then I came back, and for a few days, I was very much in my cocoon. And I remember just feeling like something big was going to happen. I just couldn't figure out what. And then as I started to write a lot, I realized, how did I not expect my life to change when you're walking the path of a saint and you're literally entering into her heart, into her womb of course you're going to be reborn. And it was like that
100%.
electrifying feeling. And I've done quite a few experiences on my journey, but nothing really catalyzed me in that way, to the point where my mother felt something. Because when I came back and she saw me and she was asking me these questions about my journey, the first thing she said is, I want to come with you. And so this year we got to do this together. And hopefully in the future we get to take people to that land, because it really holds such special codes of love, codes of remembering oneself, and then returning back to the womb. You mentioning that these, we're going to call them like priestesses or saintly figures, have really brought forth a lot of wisdom from the womb. But it's something that as women today,
we have forgotten.
Yeah,
we have forgotten.
Do you feel like a lot of your clients, in some way or another, the thing that they're perhaps missing the most is that connection to the womb?
So what I've and I'll just even talk about myself as well. I think there's a lot of disconnection to the body. As women, we're disconnected from the body, and if you're disconnecting from the body, you're not going to even be disconnected to the most sacred energy, which is the sacred of creation, which is your womb. So I think this is something women have gone through in the past, let's say, I say even 100 years. And these are practices like your, in our ethnicity, in our ancestral background, practices of the womb were part of our traditions. Our great grandmothers, they had practices of when a woman would menstruate, there was a certain initiation for that, understanding what it is, and then before a woman gets pregnant. So we had initiations set up and rituals to celebrate a woman'shood. And I think these things have been dismissed and have forgotten. And as a result, we have been disconnected from our own feminine essence. But I think the journey, we need to at least start connecting to our bodies. And a lot of women, so when a woman has dysmenorrhea, which is pain of the periods, yes, there could be as well medical problems, hormonal imbalances, a liver that is not functioning well, toxicity. We live in quite a toxic world right now. But one very important spiritual or psychosomatic element is a lot of women hate their bodies. And if you hate your body, and you don't like your menstruation, which is what we call period, you're not going to be connected to your feminine energy, your feminine essence. And it's through the womb we connect to our ancestral lineage, because, we all share the same womb. So your womb is shared with your mom, your great grandmother, and it just can go all the way back. So how much information is there, positive and negative, but how much information that is available to us that we're not connecting to?
Tons of information, that's for sure. And it's interesting because we talk a lot about like the mind in our healing journeys. At least that's where I began. It was like, okay, let me understand my thoughts, clear my mind, sit in meditation. And then it was like, okay, I started to journey, and it was very much a descent into the womb. It was like I moved from the mind into the body, into the gut, figured out all of that, figured out, okay, like the emotions. And then the last place I had to look into because of certain issues where I had fibroids, that was where like I had a big question mark. It was, wait, how did I never explore this before? And that took me on a 2.5 journey back towards the mother and the caves and the pilgrimages and all of that. So it was definitely one of those things that I'm so grateful happened, but I'm also really grateful in terms of how I had approached it and perceived it, rather than, oh, why is my body against me? Or what is my body doing this? It shouldn't. Like, I'm doing everything right. I'm eating right, meditating, saying these positive affirmations all the time, practicing yoga, moving my body, and still I have issues with my womb. And perhaps a lot of women feel that way too, right? Or I'm having painful periods, and I've always had painful periods, so it's normal. So
It's not normal.
it's not normal.
No.
No.
No, not at all. It's not normal. So one thing I'd like to bring up, I think there's a big issue in, I would say, in the spiritual community that I have myself been through. A lot of it is focused on the mind.
Yeah.
And I find when you focus a lot on the mind, it can take you into many, many loops, and you never arrive. You really never, because I mean, think about it. There's a million negative thoughts. There's you can go into this healing journey, and it never ends. And and a lot of people become very addicted to it, and that's not the whole point, right? And I talked about this before. I exited that when I call it like an embodiment shock, when I fully came into the body and realized unless you descend into the body, you're going to always be seeking and always be looping. And you only arrive when you fully drop in the body. So
It's electrifying when you even say it, right?
yeah, it's like, because actually that's exactly what happened. Like I had this dissociation. I was like, where have I been all these years? Like, where was I? And when I fully came here, it felt so foreign. But actually, it should be the most natural thing, is to be fully present in your body. And the good thing about it, I was present, but then the negative thing about it, I had to start feeling. So I felt as well, when I was in the mind, I was intellectualizing everything, you know? I was intellectualizing my anger. I was intellectualizing my grief. But when you're in the body, you have to feel it, and it's not easy.
It's not a walk in the park, that's
No.
for sure. And I feel like if we really even think about the descent, it is really going into matter, into the grossest layers of a being, like really having to face your shadows, sit with the discomfort, and then working on really, like you were sharing, I guess, purging a lot of the things that we've learned, whether it's like hating our bodies, hating our periods, and dissociating from this present moment. I would say that that descent is not necessarily either linear or straightforward,
Absolutely not.
or an easy process. And perhaps that's why a lot of people just choose to continuously ascend higher and higher. But then the roots are not there, and they end up just living in some sort of dystopian.
It's a lot of escapism.
It's a lot of escapism.
A lot of dissociation.
Yeah.
And a lot of stuff, like a lot of concepts that I think don't really serve us. You know, I think to really be fully, to really be spiritual is to really be embodied.
Yes.
And to be in your body, and to really start feeling because all the stuff that is not pleasant, and it's stuck in your organs. They always say, you know, the issues are stuck in the tissues.
Yes.
Right?
I learned that in my yoga teacher training. I'm so grateful I had teachers that said that your issues are in your tissues.
You know? And then because I've been in the mind so much, I understood why my body was so heavy, because I was not connecting what I was going through, what I was, you know, learning, or what I thought I was ascending into. I didn't reconnect it back to the body. So the key is to reconnect everything back into the body, because that's when you really start your journey.
I agree. It is a new beginning and a new way of living. And I love what you shared about like how you'll always be seeking if you're living in the mind, because I feel like the biggest transformation and what I was initiated into last year when I went on that pilgrimage was that I no longer felt like I needed to seek. And that was a relief.
You arrived at that moment. What isn't that such an amazing feeling?
It was so nice.
Because you don't need to go and be and learn. You just can drop in, tune in. And actually what we don't realize, all the knowledge we want is already within us. It's in our DNA. Our DNA holds so much information. I mean, we have the information from the beginning.
From the beginning.
From the beginning, right?
From the point of creation.
From the void.
From the void.
From the void.
And that's why people are afraid of it, I feel, because it's like, oh, I'm going to enter the void if I enter the space. Now, I'm just curious, it just came into my mind, like men that don't have a womb, obviously, what would they reconnect to in terms of having to reconnect to their bodies?
So as a woman and a man, and I'm so glad you mentioned that, a woman has a different nervous system than a man. So this is, again, in the spiritual help, a lot of women are learning from men that don't really understand the female nervous system. So yes, we each have a right and left brain, but women use certain parts of the brain more than the man, and we have different endocrine system, right? So it's very, very important for women who want to start their spiritual journey or healing. They need to understand that we have a different, completely nervous system than a man, and that needs to be addressed. And leading into that, because we have a different endocrine system, we actually have a cycle, right? And our cycle has 4 different phases, and it's similar to the 4 phases of the earth. So we need to honor our cyclical nature in order for us to be more in tune to our biological expression. You know, so we are not like men, and men are, and that's the beauty of it, right? That's what makes us interesting, you know. That's what creates attraction, because we are different. So I think that's very, very important. But back to your question, so even though a man is a man, but they do have feminine energy, and that is, so a lot of men who have disconnection or have a mother wound usually have a lot of issues with the opposite sex, so they're unable to. And as well, I think culturally, it's there's a lot of shaming about a man speaking about his emotions, opening up, being vulnerable. I think that there's a bit of cultural implication of that, but I think as a man, biologically, they're trained to be attracted to women, because it's the woman who initiates the man, who initiates that feminine energy. So it's like a whole fabric, a system, an ancient system that's been there, and it has been hijacked with all of the social engineering. I don't want to go too much into that, because that's not our topic today. But I think a lot of women might not understand this, but I actually invite women to really connect to their womb, because I feel that's their altar, that's their throne, because through that they remember who they are. And when you know who you are, you activate your divine feminine, your queen energy, and that's how you can be an energy transmission to all the men in your life. Because I think men are looking for women for direction.
They are. So interestingly, the women are the one that lead the spiritual evolution of men.
Yes.
For sure. And that's something that perhaps a lot of people don't know about yet, is that we are the ones to lead men into this new earth, because we're the birthers.
So if you just look, I read the story about Prophet Muhammad when Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, when he received the message from Archangel Gabriel in the cave. Who was the first person he went to? Was his wife. And she's the one who opened the path and led his path forward. So we forget that women they play a huge part in the initiation of a man into his mission, into who he is, into connecting, into balancing him. You know, a lot of men, they go to women because they don't know how to activate the feminine energy. Men don't know, and maybe that's not what they're meant to be doing, right? Because I find in the spiritual, a lot of men have become very feminized, and they've lost the way along the line. But I think God created a man and a woman. So when a man needs a woman's feminine energy, so he could open his heart. He could get clarity. A lot of men go to women for intuitive knowledge,
I was just literally going to ask you,
right?
like, how would we then? I mean, it's not to say, okay, like there's these, maybe there are like distinct categories for like what a woman brings into the masculine, and intuition would be one of them.
100%.
Guidance, the oracle, right? The one that is like the oracle, the one that is capable of living in between worlds,
Exactly.
right?
Absolutely.
So she's like connected to this earthly world, but then the world of spirit, that's like the priestess. And
The mother.
the mother,
Yeah.
mother,
The lover.
the lover.
So when a woman understands, she's synced with her own inner cycles and actually connects to the womb and activates the womb, she can activate all of these different archetypes within her. And the most spiritually advanced women actually don't need to say much. Just their presence, their presence enough is just a transmission of knowledge, of intuition, of just presence. Like I don't know if I've sat with a few incredible women. Just their presence has been mesmerizing, and just being in their presence, so many things have gotten activated within me. So this is what I invite women to. Instead of looking for love or looking outside of yourself, drop all of that and look within and activate. It's already within you. Just activate it. And if you need guidance along the way, we all need help, right? We cannot do this. That's why community is so important. That's why, in the past, we lived very communal. So you would get these transmissions from your grandmother, from your aunt. So that's how it was set up, right? But obviously now with the way we live life, where it's a bit more individual, and we've lost that along the way. But women, you need a teacher, definitely, just to guide you along the way. But I think once you're connected, you can be your own teacher, because then you could feel, you could understand. When you're in your body, magic happens.
I love that. So, given that you're talking about activating the womb, what would be a few suggestions in terms of activating the womb? Like, what would you share with somebody that is listening to this right now and is like, okay, I'm ready. I want to do this. Like, where would you start? What would you do? Again, it's non-linear and everybody's at a different point on their journeys. And still, where would we begin?
Touching your womb.
Okay.
Just touching it daily and reconnecting to that. I think many of us don't even touch our womb. Starting a nice massage practice for the womb, just just reconnecting with that area, keeping the womb warm. A lot of wombs are cold, and in traditional Chinese medicine, the womb is a nice, moist place, keeping that area warm. I think for me, what really helped, I love womb steaming. I think womb steaming is a forgotten ancient practice that is very, very important. I think if you have any medical conditions, to start, especially if uterine fibroids, cysts, that needs to be addressed through diet, right, supplementation, and some women might need to even undergo surgery for that if it's gotten. Sometimes you just got to remove it, right?
That's what happened with me.
Yeah, it's a cleanse as well,
Yeah, I had to remove the fibroids because it was like, one was 10 centimeters, so it was like the size of a 3-month-old fetus. Wild to think about. It was causing a lot of pressure, pain, and painful ovulation. It was also like causing me to go to the bathroom very frequently because it was pressing on my bladder. And I just remember feeling I felt very betrayed by the systems. Let's put it that way. Because I had been checking for a while and I was monitoring the growth and just making sure it was okay. And then it doubled in size within a few months, maybe. And I just felt the betrayal in many ways. One, from the medical community, because whenever I would go to the gyno, it was always like, oh, there's not much to do. Not much to do here. And I was like, all right, not much to do. I'm going to leave it. And then I felt also perhaps like a self-betrayal, because at the time I was, again, like I was sharing eating right, sleeping right, meditating, praying, connecting, or I thought I was connecting to something. And then it was like, whoa, a slap in the face. Now you need to go through surgery and you're going to have to, investigate even deeper. So there was a bit of that at play for me, for sure. But I wouldn't have it any other way because of what it brought me to, that sense of arrival. And I feel like for a very long time I was seeking. And it's not to say that I'm not still curious or there haven't been new portals to explore, but it's no longer coming from me like leaving the body.
Thank you.
It's like,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. That's very beautiful, very wise. Very, very wise. Yeah.
Well, perhaps there was some wisdom gained and received mostly. It was received and remembered. And what I love about the word remember, it really makes me feel like it's basically putting your body parts in their rightful place, if that makes sense. It's like remembering, it's like bringing back the members of the body back together.
Wow.
Right, so the finger is a finger, the foot is a foot, you're aware of these parts, the womb is the womb, you're connected to it, and there's like a remembering of the body, because it's like, every body part is kind of like living in separation to each other.
That's true.
And it's like, okay, let's
Harmonize.
stitch it back up together. Let's harmonize it.
Yeah, let's harmonize and bring everything together,
Yes.
working as one.
Yes.
So that's oneness.
That's oneness.
That's oneness. So when you go in the spirit, they extract oneness outside of you, but the true oneness is you coming into your own body and realizing everything is working together. And for me, that is the ultimate oneness.
It is the ultimate oneness. And just because the first thing I shared when I was talking about you and what you do is like you're a holistic chiropractor. So you have backgrounds in many different areas. There's clearly a very deep spiritual connection and also a scientific one. And when we're talking about oneness, it's like, okay, we're also marrying these two fields back together.
Absolutely. Wow.
Right?
That's beautiful. Beautifully said. Exactly. I think that's what the new earth is about.
Yes, it's bringing those fields together.
Yeah, bringing, absolutely. That's I didn't think of it that way, but that's really
Yeah, but I mean,
said.
you do that, right? It's like you brought the science, the information, the knowledge from all the years of study that you've poured into yourself, plus your own exploration.
Correct.
Your own inner adventures that you've had.
Absolutely.
And then it's like, whoa, I'm bringing this together as an offering to people to help them reconnect to their bodies, reconnect to their wisdom. I mean, a beautiful exercise that you made me do at the end. And I have a feeling you don't do it with all of your clients.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe
Okay,
you do.
remind
but it was
me.
the one where you're making my right ovary speak to my left ovary.
I do that, and so I do a course called Womb Alchemy, and that's one of the most important exercises to have the right and left ovary communicate, because that's your mother's lineage and your father's lineage.
Yeah.
Right? So
And
you're
it's like, talk together.
yes.
Yeah, and I loved it.
Yes.
Now I do it like even just sometimes as I'm walking or resting, and I feel into that place within my body, and I imagine that they're talking. I'm like, are they arguing right now? Are they like, is there harmony down there?
Beautiful.
And I actually realized that it feels sometimes like there's an argument happening between the two.
Okay.
It's a very interesting observation that I've had since I've seen you.
Okay.
It's a bit like heated. The right feels a bit more like aggressive. The left feels a little bit like tamed and like a little bit,
Okay.
suppressed. So it was a very, and I know the left is the feminine, it's the mother line. The right is the masculine, it's the father line. And I guess it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I have parents from very different cultures as
You
well.
mentioned that,
So it was interesting to sit with that. So I'm sharing this so whoever's listening also, like, you can do that right now. Like, if you were to drop into the mind of the womb, what would your right ovary say to the left, and what would your left say to the right?
Yeah, and then when you said they're a bit in conflict, how would you allow the conflict to exist, or do you try to?
That's a good question.
reach a
I
certain
haven't
point
gone
of...
beyond that yet.
Okay, beautiful, that's
I
fine.
haven't gone beyond it yet. I feel like right now I'm just allowing myself to be in the awareness of what they're
That's
both
beautiful.
trying to communicate, because perhaps they both have things within themselves, within that space, that haven't been expressed. So I guess I'm just allowing it to unravel a bit more.
That's perfect.
And then the next step would be the reconciliation.
Beautiful.
Yeah. But I guess
Beautiful.
in order to reconciliate any conflict, both parties need to say things as they are.
Yes.
And sometimes we don't allow ourselves to say things as they are.
Yes.
And talking about saying, and I feel like you're going to speak a bit more about that, the connection between the womb and the throat.
Wow. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. So just let's talk a little bit like like nervous system, nerves. So in utero, when you are a fetus, the same nerve pathways. So, you know, like you're a ball of cells, and then each ball of cells kind of like breaks away, and then it creates, you know, the limb, the brain. So there's one nerve pathway that connects the cervix, so the womb, the cervix, to your jaw and to your larynx. So, so just when people come to me in the clinic and they have a lot of TMJ problems, I always address the pelvis, always, because they're connected, and vice versa. If someone is having pelvis issues, it might even cause, you know, TMJ jaw issues. So that's from a physical perspective, but from a psychosomatic perspective, women who have tight cervix usually have been suppressed vocally, have not been, I would say they have experienced some sort of feminine suppression, or not being able to fully express their truth or who they are. For it could have been, you know, many different things. As you mentioned, it could be, you know, inherited, kind of generational, where, you know, women, it's true, women haven't been given women only had a voice only in the past few hundred years. So and this is not only in the East, this is in the West. It's just being expressed differently in the West. So if women have a tight cervix, they tend to have, they're a bit numb, they can't feel. So when they are making love with their partner, they're not able to orgasm as much, or they bleed, or even like issues like pelvic inflammatory diseases could happen. So a tight cervix is very, very important. Like if you want to open up your voice or speak up, you need to look into your cervix physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Because a lot of suppression, you know, it's a lot of, you can't say this, you can't do this, you know, you're a woman, so then there's a story behind it, right? And then, as we know, whatever we suppress, our body is going to express.
And it's going to express through different diseases.
Correct.
For sure. Do you feel like it also expresses itself through infertility for a lot of women?
I feel so. As I mentioned before, infertility is like a multi-layered thing.
Okay.
I think, you know, because getting pregnant is the most natural thing, right? It's like, so the fact that you're unable to get pregnant or you're infertile, you got to look at it from toxins first. You know, there's you need to look at that. There's a lot of, I mean, just our makeup has so many endocrine disruptors, and our skin is the biggest nail polish, you know, so many things, right? So I think the beauty industry needs to change, and it's not going to change until the clothing, right? Clothing has different the underwear.
Even the period panties.
Yeah,
we read
the
so
tampons,
much.
you know, tampons. Forget even tampons. Just the, you know, the pads are so toxic.
Yeah.
So toxic.
I've changed those to like organic ones ages ago.
Very good.
And I remember everyone being like, "Oh, Maria, you're making such a big deal. It's fine." I'm like, it's not fine. Like, this is like a direct contact.
Yeah.
And this is going right into my bloodstream. So, of course, like, this matters. But again, it's this trivialization of, oh, like, stop making a big deal of XYZ. And it's.
Yeah, because it's not part of the, how can I, it's not trendy yet.
It's not.
We're making it trendy. We're going to
trendy.
educate people to make it trendy.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of, personally, when I feel, that's the thing, the betrayal I felt was anger. The underlying emotion was, I am angry. I'm angry that women make up at least 50% of the world. How is it that the medical community still doesn't know where fibroids come from, how to treat them? Why is this happening to women? Why did it happen to me? Like, just again, it was this feeling of, okay, we've yet again brushed women aside. I mean, even when we think about like testing medication, most of the medicines that we take are mostly tested on men.
Correct.
They're not even tested on women.
Correct.
To see how it works on their systems.
Correct.
So there's a lot of things that need to be changed, and I feel like women again are leading the movement there with the things that they're then birthing, since we're talking about the womb as a portal of creation. They're really birthing things that are a lot more aligned with their cycle, their nature, and nature herself, I would say, more particularly, like the medicine of the plants, the wisdom of the seasons and Mother Nature, and what she actually teaches us.
And she gives us everything.
She gives us everything.
And we're abusing her.
I know.
So I'd like to just highlight something you said. You were angry.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you that you even got in touch with your anger. I'm so proud of you, because you know how many women suppress their anger because that's how they've been brought up, and suppressing your anger is the root cause of so many autoimmune diseases. And you know, if you look at so for me, when I look at these priestesses, or I've studied a lot of the feminine archetypes, like I really love Kali, for example, because what she represents is get in touch with that rage. Like, feel it, you know, because it's only through your rage and you getting in touch with it and remembering, and let that fire come into you, you can break the cycles of mistreatment. You can make a change. So unless you get in touch with that anger, nothing's going to really change. Because so many women, you know, when I talk to a lot of women, they were saying, you know, their mothers would be like, just stay, you know, let's say they're in abusive relationships, stay for the kids, take it, it's okay, you know, this is how they are. So many excuses. And they always say, I wish I got angry when I needed to get angry and left when I needed to leave. Because it's very unhealthy to stay in abusive relationships for our psyche, as you know, mentors to your children. It could really take a hit on your health, on your self-concept, on how you carry, on your posture. You know, I'd like to share a story. I had a client come in the other, I didn't know anything about her, but after our session, and she had a very strong reaction to the session, I just looked into her eyes. I'm like, what have you gone through? What are you carrying on your shoulders? And just by her posture and just the way she was carrying, I could tell she has endured so much mental and physical abuse. And then she looked at me and just flooded. She's like, how did you know? And I could just feel it, you know, just the way she's, you know, holding, like so much bracing and so much stiffness in her body. Just for me was just easy to understand, like, this woman has had it tough. And then she was saying that she went through 10 years of narcissistic abuse with her ex-husband. And, you know, she was trying to get custody of her child. You know, so you hear so many of these stories, right? But to me, it's like, where did we learn it's okay to tolerate abuse as women? Where?
I wonder, by the way, where it is that we've learned that. I mean, just thinking about my own journey, it's like the anger that I saw displayed at home is what made me want to suppress my own. So it was like, for me, because the anger was always expressed in a non-contained kind of way, because I believe there's different ways.
Erratic anger.
Exactly. It's like a wildfire. And maybe sometimes that's the
Necessary.
way and it's necessary. And at the same time, I never saw it expressed in a way where I was like, all right, like I can get on board with this kind of expression, because it just feels like everybody's burnt by this experience. And so I just chose to keep it in, keep it in, keep it in. And then eventually it was like, well, my body now has taken a big hit. And you talking about autoimmune diseases, women do suffer more with autoimmune than men. And it's because a lot of that is just like, okay, I'm going to hold it together. I'm going to hold it together. I'm going to keep the peace, because if I say the truth and disrupt the peace, then I'm the reason that hell is going to be unleashed here. When in reality, it's the fact that the person within is like very much fragmented that is causing this in the first place. But yeah, it's very fascinating to witness that within yourself and to be like, oh, okay, I'm the one that has issue with with expressing the anger, because everybody around me has just done it badly.
It was not as, so there was no safe space. You didn't feel safe.
No, it would be shut down. Like, no, we get to express it, but you don't. Yeah. Which I guess is like the systems in place, right?
Correct.
Like
Oppression.
Colonization.
That's exactly.
It's like we can do what we want and we're going to express all of our colors, but you just stay one color.
You just obey.
You just obey.
And keep moving forward.
Yeah. It's a journey of undoing a lot of the things that we've
Unlearning.
learned. Yeah.
And one thing I'd like to bring a lot, that there is a lot of, as well, another emotion that I find on women on the feminine journey is shame. You know, and shame of being a woman, shame of being angry, you know. Shame is a heavy energy that a lot of women, whether they're aware or unaware of it, can really eat away at your life force.
Shame doesn't allow you to move.
Stagnation.
Yeah.
Stagnation.
There's no movement at all. And shame is definitely something that I experienced for a while. At the moment, it feels like with shame being stored in the womb, I feel like grief also, just touching upon other things, I feel a lot of grief gets stored there too.
It's suppressed anger.
It's suppressed anger.
That's
as well.
what grief is.
So it's anything that's been suppressed. So shame, I would say, would be the suppression of your sensuality. And sensuality is like basically the connection to all of your senses, including your intuitive knowing.
Correct. Absolutely. Because, you know, a woman who's fully on her, so for me, I call the womb the throne.
I love that. You said it earlier. I was like, I love that.
When you're on your throne, and when you're on your throne, you're connected to earth. And when you're connected to earth, it's like you become this this conduit of ancient knowledge. You know, and you're very in sync with your reality, with your external world. So a woman who's really on her throne and in her body and connected to all her senses, she's a conduit of magic, in my opinion, because so for her, it's like she has this energy where she creates through the womb, and it comes to her. Like, usually this is a woman who receives with ease, who speaks her truth, who feels safe being herself, and is just like this ball of golden magic.
I love that.
You know, that's the visual I would give it. And I'm so grateful. I have been in the presence of such women, and I've received these amazing energy transmissions from them that allowed me to remember and to realize I could access them as well.
That's the beauty. And I feel like that's what we're here to do for each other, is to remind each other of the throne that we're each sitting on, and that we really are these incredible, magical, mystical, mysterious.
The feminine is mysterious.
So mysterious.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's her beauty.
That is the beauty.
That is the beauty, is the feminine is depth. There's a lot of depth, you know, because when a woman is in her intuitive field, there's so much mystery to it. To me, it's like swimming in the dark. It's like she could swim in the dark and she can access all. She has no problem swimming in the dark because she trusts herself.
Yeah. Exactly.
She trusts herself. She doesn't need to know. So I was discussing with the woman.
She doesn't need to know.
She doesn't need to know. She doesn't need to know. That's what faith is. It's a woman who's led, she's walking among the faithful. She's led by faith, because faith is, you know, believing before you see, right?
Yes.
So she doesn't need to know because she trusts.
Yeah.
She just is fully trusting. So she walks head up high, knowing that the path is opening up for her and that she's safe and she's guided, and she's just moving. And I think trust, I would say she trusts herself.
She trusts herself. She trusts in the unknown, and she is the unknown in many ways.
Correct.
So I really love that, because whenever somebody asks me, like, my parents in the past, like, oh, what is your plan for the next 5 years? I'm like, my plan? I don't have a plan. Who has a plan? like my plan is every day I wake up and I answer the call that I receive, and that's about it. And where it's taking me, how it's taking me, who's coming along for the ride, that I actually have no idea, and I'm okay with it. But it's what really allows me to receive a lot of the insights and the guidance. And in the past, there was a lot of skepticism, which was needed and necessary. Today, it's a lot less intense. And I'm like, okay, one foot in front of the other. Maybe sometimes I'm on my knees and I'm crawling, but I'm still moving forward.
It's okay.
Sometimes I'm pausing.
Perfect.
But I really love that reminder of she just
doesn't need to know.
Doesn't need to know. Yeah.
And I think what I've noticed when I've been guiding women is their need to control.
Oof, yes. Even when she doesn't realize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those women, which I understand, like let's give people compassion.
I'm still working on that, undoing the control.
It's not easy, yeah, because they probably feel safe controlling, which I get it, especially if they haven't had support in their life, or they haven't had because we do need the masculine energy, whether it's a father, a brother, husband, or even just a male friend. You know, it's necessary, because this is in that kind of field, a woman can just relax, you know, just because she doesn't need to look out for a threat. She knows that, you know,
the king is there.
Yeah, and he's taking care of business, so she could relax. You know, a lot of women don't know how to relax. A lot of women are just constantly in their mind and overthinking, and that's usually the roots of control, because they had to survive. Which rightfully so.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. It's not easy. Yeah. I'm not gonna sit here and make it look easy, but it's something. For me, when I went back into my body, my faith got stronger, and I reconnected more with God. So, you know, in Islam, it's all about surrender. Right? The true believer, the mu'min, surrenders. So this was a practice I did daily, because I had control. Obviously, I'm a hyper independent woman, and I took pride in that, because I want, that was my way of getting freedom of me being a woman, is earning my own money, because when you earn your own money, you have freedom, right? Otherwise, you are under the pretense of someone who's providing the money. So I I honor that, but at the same time, being in a hyper independent woman can really hurt you in the long term, because then you're unable to receive. You don't, you need to be in control. You're just in more, what they would call now in your masculine shield. And then that would reflect as well on your relationships with the types of men you're attracted to. So that was a process I had to go to. But the way I was able to, because you can't let go of control. It doesn't work that way. You just have to strengthen your faith. And when your faith is stronger, your control mechanisms dissolve.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. It's all about increasing your faith. And every time I ask myself, or I tell myself, okay, now like I have the most faith I've ever had, life,
And then you
like,
get tested.
tests me, and
Yeah,
I have
it's
to
not easy.
stretch into more of that.
It's not easy.
It's not, but it's just also what allows me to breathe deeper. It's like I can breathe deeper because now my capacity to trust has also expanded, but that also then allows my capacity to love to grow.
Wow.
And to be fair, with all of that, my body has definitely changed.
In what way?
Oh, in all the ways. Like everything in my body has changed.
Physically?
Physical changes. And I remember my energy therapist, every time I do something pretty big, he'd like tell me, your body's gonna change now. So I saw him recently, he told me the same thing. He's like, your body's gonna change. I'm like, again? He's like, yep. I'm like, okay, let's see. What are those next changes that are gonna happen? I have one last question for you. If you had to give one word to describe the womb, how would you say? Like if there was one, I know it's hard.
I would say the womb is a portal of remembering.
I love it. It's three words, but we'll take it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I would, just remembering. Yeah, I think remembering.
Yeah. Ancient wisdom.
Yeah, definitely.
5 words. But I really, really loved our conversation today.
Thank you for having
so special.
me. Thank you.
And thank you for your time. I'm seeing you tomorrow.
Yes,
I'm so excited
I'm looking forward
to get like more things revealed. And it's been such a pleasure to connect with you. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And thank you for your trust as well.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have any of this planned, right?
No.
Yeah. So
I was just like, I like you. I want to interview you because we connected on something that is so deep. You know, when you connect with somebody around the Magdalene lineage or the priestesses, especially because it had just happened. You know, had I done it last year and not gone back and like that would have come up, maybe it wouldn't have been as like eye-opening. But the fact that I literally just landed the night before and then I saw you and that's the first thing you tell me and it's the conversation we had throughout your session, I'm like, there's something here. And I trust in that, and I trust that our paths are gonna
I'm very honored.
continue.
I'm very honored
Yeah.
because as much as, I have offered you, you have given me the remembering and the invitation to continue on my path.
Yes, please.
So thank
do.
you.
Yes, we're
Thank
gonna
you.
keep walking together.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.